I'm happy because we are entering a community today to look at the sanitation situation there, and I know that community or that environment or that space you've been there before.
I have been several times actually. It's pretty close to Kumasi. On a good day, within an hour 30 minutes, you should be there. But there's now traffic, potholes. I can keep going on. Road construction also going on. So it takes a bit longer to move from Kumasi to Sunyani.
Beautiful. So actually yesterday we were supposed to do this by bringing you to the sanitation focus here on Breakfast Daily on ChannelOne TV. But you know, the president had to gather this non-denominational Thanksgiving service that was held to the presidency. So that took the time. So let's zoom in straight. Let's go to Sunyani in the Bono region, where we understand the sanitation situation there is getting dire. Michael Saponinfum is our correspondent, and he filed a report from the area.
Over a decade ago, the Dan Ghana Tourism Commission awarded Sunyani the accolade of the cleanest community in Ghana. However, this recognition is gradually slipping away due to several factors, including increasing population, poor waste management, and the attitudes of some residents. Gutters that once flowed freely are now choked with waste. Indiscriminate littering has become common, while the absence of waste bins on many streets has left residents with limited options for proper waste disposal. These challenges have contributed to a polluted environment and blocked drain systems. During the monthly cleanup exercise, the Municipal Chief Executive for Sunyani East, Vincent Etweje, noted that stricter enforcement of sanitation bylaws will help improve cleanliness in the municipality and enable Sunyani to claim its lost accolade as a cleanest community.
Sunyani Municipal Assembly, starting this January, will enforce its bylaws to the latter. And I'm very happy that we have the backing of the Traditional Council, we have the backing of our sector ministry, that is the local government and sanitation ministry. I have the backing of the MP, my region minister, and all other stakeholders. So I want to use this platform to urge that where or when a citizen is being confronted with any of our rules and you are being subjected to the sanctions, please, you should go through it to ensure that Sunyani once again becomes the cleanest city.
Concerns were also raised about lack of waste bins across the municipality and what is being done to address the situation.
When the dustbins were in place some years back, our sanitary inspectors had that challenge that when they go into the dustbins, they will see a lot of domestic waste. So they started to withdraw them, and as it stands now, we don't even have a dustbin in town. So what we have done is, we have procured, or we are in the process of procuring metallic dustbins that will be affixed on the road, not on the main road, I mean adjacent of the road, so that one, you can remove the dustbins, and we will just create a very small hole, so that when you have domestic waste, you can just put them inside.
Meanwhile, the Minister for Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, Ahmed Ibrahim, outlined government's broader plans to improve sanitation across the country.
You know, the President himself said that all the bylaws in sanitation, Chieftaincy is going to take part, and that there will be sanitation palace courts, so that there will be instant punishment. This is what the President said at the launch of the National Sanitation Day last year. And you could see that the Sunyani representative also stated the same thing, and they have also come out to support this. When chiefs, traditional authorities, government officials, religious leaders, youth, security services all come out for a common purpose, you can be assured that the mission will be accomplished.
So that is the current situation in Sunyani now. Sunyani used to be a very beautiful city, and a lot of people would go there and they know they are going to heave a sigh of relief, because you've got into an area where you are moving away from the busy environment in Accra or from Kumasi, and you would want to go there. And this is actually not the first place you're also covering. You've been to Ho as well, which is also facing a sanitation problem. That tells us that there's a bigger problem in this country when it has to which has to do with sanitation and how the authorities are managing it in the country. But our correspondent, Michael Saponinfum, who filed this report, is joining us for us to have a deeper understanding of the situation in the area that is the capital city of the Bono region, that is Sunyani, and also you speak to other authorities and find out from them the way forward to get the issue addressed. Michael, good morning.
Good morning, Philip.
Happy New Year.
The same to you.
And I trust you are doing well.
Yeah, very well, very well.
Michael, let's paint the picture. 5 years or 10 years ago, how was Sunyani like in terms of sanitation?
Thank you very much for the opportunity, Philip. 10 years back, Sunyani was as the cleanest capital in the country. In 2007, the then Ghana Tourism Board awarded Sunyani as the cleanest city in Ghana. The drains were flowing, the drains were clean all over Sunyani. And the population wasn't big as we have today. So management of waste was somehow okay. But 10 years down the line, the story is different.
So if you say the story is different, what we've seen on the screen are choked gutters or clogged gutters, and also is it that we have the sanitation situation in the city proper that people are not able to abide by these bylaws? Once you speak to the MC or the assembly, what have they been telling you in this regard?
I believe there are 3 levels. 1, enforcement of sanitation bylaws have not been effective. Enforcement of sanitation bylaws in Sunyani for some time now have not been effective. The visual that you can see is in the heart of Sunyani, the central business district, not an outskirt of Sunyani, central business district, where we have the main taxi ranks and the old or daily market. And secondly, I also say the attitude of the people. The attitude of the people is a major factor, because Philip, this cleanup exercise was done on Saturday.
Okay.
If you go back this morning, the place is dirty again.
But before you go on with what has happened after the cleanup exercise, how is the participation like from residents?
Some were okay, some were also onlookers. You know, our attitude. It was okay. I believe it's the second edition, and I believe that the subsequent ones, I believe that the mobilization will be good so that more people will join. It wasn't big as expected, but at least they were able to do something. And as I said, the attitude of the people is a major factor. This cleanup exercise was just done on Saturday. If we go back, the place is dirty again. And secondly, if you also walk on the streets of Sunyani, there's not a single waste bin where if you maybe after taking your yogurt, water or whatever, you put your waste in that waste bin. So if you are not disciplined, that you put maybe this waste in your bag, and when you go to the house, you dump in, the person just throw it on the ground. Wow. So 1, the enforcement of bylaws is not effective. Secondly, the attitude of the people, and also on the street of Sunyani, there's not a single dustbin, which the municipal chief executive Vincent Gentry admitted that on the street of Sunyani, you cannot see a single waste. So all these factors are contributing to the filth and in Sunyani, and gradually Sunyani is losing the status as the cleanest capital or community in the country.
Okay, we will speak to the MCE shortly, but I want to find out from you. Do you perchance have any knowledge where if a sanitation management company is in charge of the sanitation situation in the area, or solely the assembly?
You know, Zoomlion was handling it, but as we speak, I don't know what is happening. You know, there were issues that government is terminating their contract here and there, so I can't speak on that. But over the years, that's what they've been doing. We especially at dawn, you see their workers cleaning the streets. But for some time now, I have not been seeing them. I don't know what is happening though.
Okay.
But I believe the MC will be the right person to tell us why we don't see the workers of Zoomlion on the street cleaning. So Philip, as I said, the enforcement of sanitation bylaws is not effective. The attitude of the people, and also unavailability of waste bins on the street of Sunyani. These factors are contributing to the challenge we are facing compared to some years ago.
Michael, you mentioned the attitude of residents being one of the reasons why Sunyani is facing what it's facing today. My question to you is, do you feel that residents have a sense of ownership that as they're, indiscriminately throwing filth around, that in the end, it's going to affect them, it's going to affect their livelihoods?
I don't think people have that sense of ownership that, oh, what I'm doing is not right. Because I don't understand why, as a person, you should drink water and throw it on the ground. And I know it's surprising. People will say, even if I don't, you can't explain, It's worrying that in the central president district, the visual that you can see, people will just drink water, just throw it in the drains. All the drains are choked. And surprisingly, foods are sold along these drains. And people go there to buy. It's worrying because years ago, if nothing at all, Sunyani, no, you can't see this fruit. But it did not change today. 4, 5, 6 years, 7, 8 years ago, 9 years ago, it started gradually. And also, there's also increase in population in Sunyani. There's now University of Energy and Natural Resources here, SU is there, and the population is growing by the day. So at times, managing waste becomes a challenge. But I believe that the major factors are what I said, lack of enforcement. I believe that if the assembly is able to prosecute people, it will serve as a deterrent for people as to stop littering just like that. And also, I believe that the assembly must also intensify its education. Not only on the streets, going to churches and other things to educate the people.
Michael, you mentioned that it's within the CBD. Is it only within the CBD or across Sunyani?
Across Sunyani. Across Sunyani. But if the CBD is like this, you can imagine.
Okay.
The outskirts.
Wow.
Yes, it's worrying. It's worrying.
Okay, Michael, thank you so much for your time. We will definitely come to you and see if there will be an improvement in the situation in the coming days now that we are talking about it. But, Michael made mention of a very important thing that maybe we will ask the waste management organizations, or we ask the MC what really has become the situation. Now, he says that time past, you see a waste management organization, that is Zoomlion, going around, that is their officers or their men going around to clean up the city. The assembly cannot do it all because of the numbers involved.
The population has grown.
Yes, and I've heard Bernard say something, that when there is chaos, there is more money to be made. So once there is chaos, or the population increases at a place, there is more money to be made. That tells you that we are going to generate more waste, and we are going to get a lot more people to pay, and we are going to get a lot more people to sanction, and they are going to be meted. There are going to be punishment that are going to be meted out. Either they are going to pay fine or something. So it generates revenue for the assembly. But if we all fold our hands and we say, okay, we are going to sit in our offices, we are going to sit in our rooms and look on, this will be the end result. Because you stayed in Sunyani, or you have been in Sunyani for some time. You know how the situation in the place was. I remember there was some time I went to Sunyani once, and when I got there, I was marveled. That was somewhere 2021 or 2020. And I was like, oh, the place is beautiful. But if that cannot be said of it now, then it's a problem. It's a big problem that has to be checked. Because if we do not have the power to get the place clean, ask us, or the end game is going to be that we are going to record some health situations in the area, and also we are going to see people going about their day-to-day activities without even bothering about sanitation.
That's very
Yes,
true.
don't not be bothered about sanitation. But anyway, Michael said something about the fact that he doesn't know what really has happened to
With the
Zoomlion,
contract,
the
yes.
contract. So joining us is coordinator for Zoomlion in the Bono region. And specifically, we are looking at the issue in Sunyani. And that's Benedict Ewa, who is joining us. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Happy New Year.
Thank you.
First of all, have you noticed the sanitation situation in Sunyani in recent times?
Yes, please.
What can you tell us about this, sir?
First of all, we have so many facets of the sanitation situation you are talking about. So we have street sweeping activities.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also have the solid waste collection, which involves lifting of communal containers from their designated locations. So I'll be very glad if we could be specific with the sanitation issues that you want us to discuss this morning.
Okay, so my correspondent or my colleague in the Bono region, Sunyani, who filed a report from Sunyani, made mention of time past he could see, or there was an exercise that was embarked on by your outfit by one street sweeping, which is very important. It helps in the sanitation situation, and also the bins that were made available, among other things, in the capital city. But that is not the situation now. We want to delve deeper. What has been the concern, and what really has accounted to the fact that we are not seeing that happening in Sunyani of late?
Oh, okay. So let me take them one after the other. With respect to the street sweeping activities or the public cleansing activities, which basically involves the sweeping and then cleaning of principal streets within Sunyani, drainage systems, and the rest. You know, Zoomlion had a contract with the government of Ghana, which expired in the year 2025. There were efforts to get to the negotiation table with the government so that it could be renewed, but all those efforts proved futile. So as we speak, for the public cleansing of street sweeping, there is no contract between Zoomlion Ghana Limited and the government of Ghana. So all the operatives who used to come onto the street to sweep the litters and other garbage on our principal streets are no longer on the streets doing such things. That is why these days we see the streets with garbage and the rest. So basically that is it for the street sweeping. However, even in spite of this challenge, we try to engage the municipal assembly that through their own mandate, they can at least get us some few people, and then they themselves will pay them some allowances whilst we do the supervision on behalf of the municipal assembly. We tried implementing that, but it seems it couldn't work out. And then when we come to the solid waste collection, which involves lifting of solid waste from the various communities through the usage of our trucks and then the communal containers. You know, day in, day out, population is growing. So there is this ever increasing demand on the service. And then with the contract that we have with the municipal assembly, we have a required number, a designated number of containers that Zoomlion is supposed to provide for the assembly in order to carry out that activity. Due to the volumes of waste being generated, and it has happened that the number of containers is not enough to actually cater for the waste that are being brought from the homes, the other public places, and the rest. So we have been trying to engage the municipal assembly so that at least we can come to an agreement, step up, or augment the number of containers that we provide for the assembly in order to at least meet the demand, the current demand when it comes to solid waste collection. But as it stands, we've not been able to come to an agreement. And the whole issue has to do with resources. The assembly needs to be resourced enough so that at least they can also come to the negotiation table with us so that at least we all can come to an agreement and then provide the requisite number of containers so that at least we will be able to lift almost every waste that is generated in the various communities to the final disposal sites for the treatment facility.
Okay. So if I got you right, you made mention of the contract that has expired. For that reason, you've withdrawn your men. And two, the assembly's involvement, though they have to be resourced, you've had a negotiation with them. And also the containers that you're supposed to provide, the requisite number of containers that you're supposed to provide to help address the situation. I want to find out from you, do we have some of the containers around as we speak? Because our correspondent told us that when he drives through the principal, on the principal streets of Sunyani, he doesn't sight any container.
You know, these containers that I am talking about, you will not see them along the street. They are within the community. You know, we have two types of containers.
Okay.
The communal container, which are huge, which has a huge volume. And then I don't know which one your correspondent is talking about. And then we have the household waste bins, those that we normally use in our households for the storage of waste. Sometimes when you drive along some streets, you see things placed along vantage points on the street. So I don't know which container he was expecting.
So from what you're also saying, there are some containers available. How many?
Currently, we are supposed to provide for the communal containers, which are placed within the community. We are supposed to provide 11. Per the agreement, we are supposed to provide 11.
But how many do we have now?
And we even have about 14.
14. Okay, so you've exceeded the 11.
Yes, please.
Okay, that's fine.
I think my question to you would be, have you received any formal communication as to when your contract will either be extended or renewed, or in what form it may come? Because this is affecting, I mean, for your region, the Bono region where you are the coordinator, we can see the filth that is being gathered there. Have you received any formal communication as to when your contracts may or may not be renewed?
Actually, somewhere last year, getting to the latter part of last year, the president came out to announce that cabinet will be sitting down and then they will come up with the modalities as to how they would award the street sweeping contract to Ghanaian companies. And it will be like they will open it up for competitive bidding. Yes.
Indeed.
So we are still waiting. I'm very sure still they are trying to fashion up the modality. And so once they've come up with something, or once they've been able to conclude on the modality, yeah, they will announce to the general public so that all interested parties would bid for the contract.
Okay. While you wait for that to happen, is there any minimum support that you can provide, or you have pulled out all your men and women?
Actually, the operatives, the YE, under the YE sanitation for these operatives are employed by the Youth and Employment Agency. They are not employed by Zoomlion Ghana Limited.
Okay.
They are employed by the agency and then released to Zoomlion Ghana Limited to manage them with regard to the street sweeping activity. So we didn't pull them out.
Okay.
It's just that the truth is we have some outstanding allowances that we are supposed to pay them in excess of I think 16 months. And we've not been able to do that because for 2 years we worked and the previous government couldn't also pay us. So we also found it very difficult in paying them. And since we don't see any, the hope has faded. There is nothing, they are not hearing any positive news with regards to the renewal of the contract. And then again, they don't know when you will be able to gather some money and pay them their outstanding allowances. They themselves have decided to suspend the service. Yes. Initially we kept convincing most of them that very soon the contract will be renewed, so at least they should still come out and then work on the street. And like that has taken a very long time. And almost all of them have lost it. And as such, they suspended their service. We didn't pull them
off the street. All right. While you wait for the tendering process to begin, though, what immediate actions or what advice can you give the assembly to help them mitigate the sanitation situation in Sunyani?
Like I said, we've had discussions with them. At least if we can get a few of these operatives to clean the critical areas within the municipality, and then the assembly was in turn and pay their allowances regularly. I think we are ready to at least help with the supervision and everything. I think this can help in going a long way to mitigate the current situation that we are facing.
Okay. Benedict Bono Regional Coordinator Zoomlion, thank you so much for your time. We are grateful that you joined us this morning for us to have conversations on how best we can manage the sanitation situation in Sunyani, because from what we have done here, it's so evident that it's not only in the Greater Accra region, the capital city Accra, but it's something that is nationwide. And very important is that the government would have to do something now. Maybe there should be a stopgap measure, or there should be an interim approach to the sanitation situation as the bigger picture of the renewal of the contract is done. Because you can't take the part of the private sector out when you want to develop a country. You definitely need the private sector in everything. So you wouldn't want to say that, well, you are halting A, B, C, D, and you haven't put in place E, F, G, H, and we should find a solution to the problem. We will not. And if someone is even working and you've not paid the person for some period of time, the enthusiasm or the kind of zeal the person will work with will dwindle. Yeah. And I think that is what I'm saying. If not from Zoomlion or the waste management company, it has to do with the youth in the area. We've seen youth in Accra, that is the bus stop boys going around and all that, trying to mobilize people to help in a sanitation situation. But when it comes to sanitation, it's bigger than what we can see.
A few people.
Yes, it requires a lot. It's a big thing.
And when it denigrates your health, your water, your safety, everything is affected. And I don't think we're taking it seriously.
Yeah,
I think you mentioned that there was a similar situation in Ho.
Yeah, there was a similar situation in Ho, and I always say that having stayed in Ho for 5 years.
Been there. Yeah, you went to school there or something.
And I stayed in Ho for 2 years after school.
Okay.
And so stayed in Ho for 5 years.
was also one of the cleanest.
Oh, clean.
And
very
it
clean.
has a very clean air. Yeah.
Because when I left Ho 2014, 2015, staying in Ho between 2009 to 2014, 2015 was a very clean place.
Right.
And you'd want to be in that environment every now, because I actually didn't want to come to Accra. Yes.
You didn't want the traffic
the pollution. The pollution and all that. But if you go to Ho today, it's the same situation. Even Kumasi, that
used to be the garden
used
city.
To be the garden city.
Yeah, now there's no garden. It's just dust
it's
and
filth.
Dirty
everywhere.
roads and filth. I don't know whether the population growing, but I assume it is, contributes to the filth.
We can't limit the population
as
growth.
A people. Oh, we can. I mean, China has done it. Well, now they're asking them to give birth to more than one. But we can do a controlled birth for a while.
Well,
teach people from the very onset. I think we need to develop nursery rhymes. Throw your filth
but we should plan for the future.
Bins and something,
but we should plan for the future.
The younger generation about filth, its consequences, how it affects our communities, how it affects your health even. And then so you start from the younger generation, because right now, you see someone drinking something and just throw it.
So let me tell you this. I went to Singapore, right?
Yes.
And in that country, they have planned like 10, 15 years ahead.
Oh, wow.
Yes, in terms of sanitation.
Okay.
So they have their landfill site. I've forgotten the name. It's escaped me. But they know that landfill site would get full in the next 2-3 years. That's like, in the next 5 years, that's 2030.
Right.
They know that it will get full, but they are planning from now. And when you go there, the private sector is really working.
They're involved.
They are involved. So you see,
let me ask you this
sanitation.
Does the landfill sites have a funny smell?
Well, there's an engineered landfill site.
Okay.
So you can get a very engineered landfill site. Good morning to Dr. Peter Dagadu, who is the MD for Waste Landfills Company. You understand? There is an engineered landfill site when it's well managed.
Right.
Can really save the entire situation. But you see, it's capital intensive. You just don't leave it to chance that, okay, fine, I want to leave this to chance and let it roll on its own.
Right.
There has to be intentionality. It needs to be monitored. So I'm putting this amount of money into this field. I'm putting that amount of money into this field. But I'll have to monitor the outcome of whatever is going to happen in that particular place, or whatever amount of money I have invested into that field. So you wouldn't want to sit down and say that, okay, fine, the assemblies would have to enforce the bylaw. You are enforcing the bylaw, but you're not giving me a place to dump the refuse.
Where does Accra dump refuse? I don't think
so. There is a big I think the landfill site, I think when you go to Kotoku thereabout, there is a landfill site there, or in Sawam there's a landfill site. There's another one too at Bone, but even with the Bone one, I recently filed a report there. It's full, and we are not able to get that place to. That one too. Also, the Waste Landfills Company Limited is also complaining that they've not been paid an amount of money to manage that particular dump site. You know, there is a landfill, an engineer landfill site close to the dump site now. You understand? So, if an amount of money is not pumped into it, it will bounce back to us. When you go to the assemblies, we are not holding brief for a particular waste management company.
Yeah.
But what you are saying is that there should be an intentionality. There should be that this amount of money from the state is going to be pumped into sanitation. It's going to be pumped into a space that we know that we are saving ourselves from risk associated with health. Because if we do not take care, from what we have done on the show, Accra is even worse. Accra is facing its own issues. We went to the central region.
The same thing.
Akwesiado filed a report. There is a dump site in one of the communities, I think it's in Kwafo or something. That place too, they're having issues with the dump site. You go to Kaswa, there's a big problem. You now move along to Western Region, where we've had Akwesi J. filed a report from Western Region. There's a bigger problem there. You go to the Ashanti region. For the Ashanti region, we've had several reports coming from that place, from Hafiz Tijani, Doris Longta, and his colleague, and their colleague, and other colleagues also there. They filed reports. Next week, probably, we'll be looking at what is happening in the northern part of the country.
Right.
But even with that, we've had issues with other places. Damango, we've had, Savannah region, we've had situations coming from that area. So it's a bigger thing that has to be looked at. It's either we are having a meeting with the assemblies to sit down and see how best we are going to deal with this and address the situation. And we shouldn't fold our arms and be looking at this, because the population will definitely increase. And once there is going to be a population incremental growth, certainly we'll be seeing more waste being generated in our communities, because now when you go and buy food, you are either buying wache in that pack or you are buying cocoa in that rubber. The final and destination of that pack you've bought or that rubber you've bought goes somewhere, but it has to be a responsibility of someone to take care of that waste.
It has to be your own responsibility. No, if you're dumping it into the correct place.
Has it been created?
But whoever you bought it from should be able to create something for you.
So if the person you bought that particular thing from also lifts the bin, where is the person going to dump it?
I assume that there should be a company that will come around to pick
Are
up.
the companies being paid?
Well, their contracts are now being terminated.
Because
And
what
we're
we're saying
waiting for
now
tendering.
is the Aboboya people going around.
Yes.
Yes. And funny how you see this same Aboboya people dumping the refuse anyhow, anywhere.
Sometimes in the middle of the street. If they overturn, they leave it there and continue their journey.
We need a total overhaul of the sanitation sector
system
in this country.
That's very true.
And which is under the local government ministry.
That's very true.
And if it's under the local government ministry, previously there was a sanitation ministry.
Yeah.
And even when that crowd couldn't even hold the thing.
We didn't see nothing.
You understand?
happen.
When you move to the very country I mentioned, there is
Singapore.
a national sanitation authority.
So they were deliberate about how they wanted to solve their sanitation issue, and now it's one of the most, a beautiful, well-kept, clean countries in
the National Sanitation
in the
Authority manages all things. It's dealing with the private sector, dealing with the government, addressing their issues. But now everything has been put under one umbrella, which is the local government ministry. And the local government minister, that same minister is dealing with chieftaincy issues.
Wow.
That same minister is dealing with religious affairs issues.
Has a lot
And
to
that
deal
same
with.
minister wants to deal with local government issues. We have a long way to go. I think there's a total overhaul, but maybe there is something that is going to be done in the near future. But I think that going forward, 2026 shouldn't pass by without looking at our sanitation situation. We'll be hammering it here on ChannelOne TV.
Just as we hammer Galamsey issues, we definitely need to hammer on our sanitation issues.
We'll be telling the stories, and we are hoping that the change that is needed within our communities will be done. The fort, which is being led by the assemblies, also with the private sector, and the larger picture is the government. But also, let's not forget that as citizens, we have a role to play. But if you create that avenue or that environment or atmosphere for us, the citizens, definitely if you are cracking the whip by enforcing the bylaws, we will follow suit. We'll go for a quick break. When we come back,